All right, and some breaking news coming in at this hour. The World Health Organization has released a draft resolution which calls for impartial, independent and comprehensive probe into the coronavirus pandemic. The draft is led by Australia and EU and backed by India. An important draft there. Siddhant Sibal is joining us live on the phone line for the very latest on this. And Siddhant, what else does this UN draft say? An important move that has also got the backing of India.
Well, yes, the draft has been released just ahead of the World Assembly meet, which will happen tomorrow. And this draft clearly calls for an independent probe into the entire COVID crisis, which is an important development. Also, we know that it is primarily an initiative led by Australia and the European Union. But, of course, India is backing the entire move. There are other countries from the South Asian region as well, whether it's Bhutan, Bangladesh. These are the countries which have been mentioned in the just released draft. But the focus, of course, in the probe on how the entire situation developed, and of course the need to learn from the experiences so that there is no repetition of the entire pandemic which developed. And of course information regarding it is something that is crucial. We know that the voting on Taiwan will also take place, whether Taiwan should participate or not. That is something that is very crucial. And what will be India's decision? We know that the Taiwanese envoy spoke exclusively to WION over the weekend and said that he's very confident of getting India support so that Taiwan becomes part of WHO. We know that China has said it will not allow Taiwan to participate as a country. It considers Taiwan as its own part, and that is why the entire issue has been resolving around. But by and large, focus, of course, is on the COVID. This meeting takes place every year, but the fact that this year COVID crisis is taking place, that is why we know the focus is on this meeting. Of course, India's health minister is going to represent India at this meeting, and he's going to address the meeting virtually at 3:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. This, of course, is the first time that the World Health Assembly is meeting virtually because, of course, of the COVID pandemic.
Right, and also, Siddhant, importantly, this draft resolution repeatedly mentions, of course, the mechanisms at the disposal of the WHO, its programs, how to strengthen them, and what sort of effectiveness that they expect from the WHO, a body that has come under immense pressure in the recent times because of what's happened in China.
Of course, we know that after the pandemic started, the first case was reported from Wuhan in December of last year. The entire body has come under scanner. It has been criticized a lot for the lapses it has done, especially when it comes to providing necessary information. This time, of course, the focus in the draft is that there is a collaboration when it comes to the fact that the international community is better equipped or to prevent further such pandemics to happen in the world, and of course to keep the citizens safe. So that is the main focus of the entire meeting, and of course the draft, which is of course in most probability will be adopted. Of course there is no mention of China in the list of countries who are supporting it, either of the United States as well. We do expect both Beijing and Washington to take a position on the draft because it is a draft which is now backed by a considerable number of countries. Over 60 countries have backed this draft, and this is something that the world is needing right now, given the fact that how there are divergent views regarding, especially when it comes to the origin of the virus. We know the difference between Beijing and Washington regarding where the virus came from. While the first case was reported from China, China has been saying that it is not responsible for the spread, and also it was the origin is not known of this virus. This is something that has raised question mark as well. But by and large, a pretty politicized meet which is happening or starting from tomorrow, two-day meet of the World Health Organization's World Health Assembly, which is going to meet virtually.
Right, and Siddhant, I do want to dwell a little bit about the United States and its possible reaction. We know that actively the European Union has supported this draft. It's primarily coming from them and Australia, and of course has the backing of countries like India. But Donald Trump has gone on record again and again to criticize China. So the world will be looking at the US for possible support in this draft resolution.
Yes, the US has not reacted on the draft. In a sense, it has not been part of sponsoring the draft. But interestingly, the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has urged all countries to join the Australian call to be part of this draft, which is, of course, interesting. And also, we know that Australia has been taking a strong position when it comes to the COVID crisis. We know the relationship between Beijing and Australia when it comes to trading partners, but there is a lot of anti-China sentiments in Australia as well as in the other countries in the region regarding the handling of this entire pandemic by Beijing, and that is why Australia has taken the lead when it comes to this entire draft, taking a position on the probe, and also it is being backed informally by the United States, given the fact that the U.S. Secretary of State has openly called on countries to join in the Australian efforts. But by and large, we know what has been the position of the U.S. President Donald Trump. He has been criticizing China publicly a lot regarding how it handled the entire this situation now, and how it has led to a lot of damages across the world. So many people have died. We know here in India, the numbers have risen up to 90,000 and are expected to reach 1 lakh very soon. So clearly, India has been very vocal about it also, but not taking any positions. Of course, India, it looks like, has to take a position very soon regarding it, especially on the Taiwan issue, on which many countries are supporting Taiwan's membership at the World Health Organization's World Health Assembly, which is going to take place tomorrow.
Right. Siddhant, thanks very much indeed for joining us with the latest there. That UN draft resolution, which will be voted on, importantly, of course, at the moment does not name China, but interesting to see how it pans out, given the fact the European Union and several other countries backing that, including Australia, South Africa, India, and we will have to wait and watch how the US reacts to this.